My name is Donnie. You suck at Photoshop. You do. You're awful. And that's why you're here. All right, let's get started. Let's say your 30-day trial for your screencasting software stopped working after 11 months. And so you had to pull out, you had to do something different, and different's okay. We had to pull out a video camera that you'd bought when you thought you were going to have a kid, and you were going to make a whole lot of money by selling videos of sneezing babies and spit up videos to, because that's what people like to watch on the internet. And but that didn't work out. So now you found a use for the video camera, which is to replace the stupid, clearly not free software that you thought you had. So what are we going to do this week? What else can I do? You just you've I I've tried so hard to teach you, and yet you continue to be stupid. You know, I was looking back on the last year or so, and looking at all the things that you learned, and well, the things that you didn't learn. You learned nothing. And sure, you got to see the greatest Photoshop painting of all time created, and that helped. Well, I don't think that helped at all. I probably did more harm than good, just because it just destroyed your confidence in your abilities. So, we saw a friend's world fall apart before our very eyes. We used Photoshop to record messages to our estranged stripper wife. We lost things that were important to us. We 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 created soundproofing to mask the inhuman activity going on in the hotel room next to us. We tried to cover up a stupid mistake. Enough said on this one. We dealt with terrible family issues. Ditto. We tried to go to a special place, but it just didn't last. We worked with some things we knew we'd never be able to touch, although after lessons learned, we discovered that probably wasn't such a bad thing. We tried to find the inner beauty under the hair. We used Photoshop for justice, blew up Mexico, made some money on eBay, shut down 7 years of pain and misery, hurt the innocent, and that brings us back to the beginning. You know, the, where all the trouble began. Maybe what happened was we just made some stupid decisions with Photoshop that ended up having a like the Ashton Kutcher thing, where you did one thing in Photoshop, and then that changed everything down the line. Um, that '70s show. This this is our chance to go back in time and fix things. Maybe Photoshop will allow us to do that. The big question we have to ask ourselves is, who are you? Who who is Donnie Hoyle? What kind of a man is Donnie Hoyle? Is he the man to put a copy of his marriage certificate in the windshield in an act of defiance against somebody who's out to wreck his life? Or is Donnie Hoyle the kind of guy that says, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I am not going to let somebody railroad me and destroy my life. I'm just going to get out of the way, and I'm going to give in, and I'm going to roll over. So what we want to do is, yeah, this is our chance. You know, how callous and cavalier and reckless was the marriage certificate in the windshield? That was stupid. We could have just bashed up the car a little bit and put, maybe, set it on fire, but we had to make it personal. So now what we want to do is we want to say, dude, I made a terrible mistake, and we want to make that message clear for him and for everybody to see. So let's grab a brush, and what we want to do is just write a message that says, I'm sorry. Um, you know, enjoy my wife. And what we'll do is we're gonna We're going to take this and we're going to put it right in the windshield. So Command T to transform, and please don't talk back to me right now. I want you to listen and I want you to understand this, because I think this is the first and only right thing we've ever done together. So what do we need to do? We need to flip it around so that he can see it when he gets into his van and does his business, because hey, it's not our business. So edit, transform, flip horizontal, Command T, and now what we're going to do is, hey, I know what you did. Hey, listen, maybe you could just stop using your brain, which clearly doesn't work, and listen to me, because it's clear who the teacher and who the teachee is. So let's edit, transform, distort, and we're just going to tuck it right into this windshield, make it look like we walked up without any angry intentions, and we just very friendly, put our finger in the frost and made the message that is hopefully going to clear everything up. And we can go to let's try a layer effect overlay. That looks pretty good, like it was written right there in the frost. And
hello, Donnie.
What do you do? What are you doing here?
I'm going to kill you, Donnie Hoyle. I'm going to kill you! Are you hugging me? Are those Thai thumb drops? You suck at fighting, at pleasing a woman, at being a friend. You're a douche.
My name is Donnie. You suck at Photoshop.